Hare Krishna, welcome to this session with the Gauriya treasures of Bengal. I'm your servant Diptiman Gaurahari and today we're going to discuss on yoga. So what is yoga? Yoga does not refer to some physical postures. It does not refer to merely bending, curving your body or even holding your breath. The word yoga is actually derived from the Sanskrit word yuj, which means to unite or to yoke. The practice of yoga, it actually aims to create a union between one's body, mind, spirit and the universal consciousness. So the yoga system was originally meant to help one realize God, and all practices of yoga tries to bring one to that point. So success in yoga ultimately depends on one's own endeavors and the will of the Supreme, rather than one's own gymnastic endeavors. There are various kinds of yoga and we are going to discuss a few of them, a few prominent ones today. So we are going to discuss on Ashtanga yoga, on Karma yoga, on Jnana yoga and finally on Bhakti yoga. So Ashtanga yoga is based on the Patanjali Sutras consisting of 194 aphorisms. Ashtanga yoga possesses 8 limbs. They are Yama, the do's and the don'ts, Niyama, developing virtues, Asana, physical postures, Pranayama, breathing exercises, Pratyahar, sense withdrawal, Dharana, concentration, Dhyana, meditation, and finally Samadhi or trance. So what is popularly known as yoga today is actually just one of the 8 stages of Ashtanga yoga, namely asana. The discipline prepares to keep the body in various postures for hours. The final stage of Ashtanga yoga is called Samadhi, where the yogi pushes the soul through the top of the skull and proceeds to wherever the consciousness is fixed at the moment. Pushing the soul up through different chakras of the body and finally releasing it through the highest chakra at the top of the head is also known as Kundalini rising. So Ashtanga yoga, as you might have realized by now, is very harsh and severe and excessively difficult to practice in this modern age. That is why the Vedic texts, they do not recommend Ashtanga yoga in this present age, Kali Yuga. So next we are going to discuss on Karma yoga. So Karma yoga begins with the realization that selfish actions bind the soul. By giving up the results of one's actions, one is relieved from the reactions of self-centered activities. Karma yoga does not imply giving up the action itself, but instead recommends linking it to a higher cause. Karma yoga deals with offering various sacrifices to various deities to attain material benedictions in this life and the next. Karma yogis tend to have a materially progressive attitude towards life, and their aim is often to reach heavenly planets. So next we are going to discuss on Jnana yoga. So Jnana yoga involves mental speculation and it involves realizing the self through philosophical discussions. It involves discrimination of matter and spirit through the process of mental speculation. So one's actions and necessities of life are minimized in the process of Jnana yoga. The focus is primarily on becoming free from sensual desires that deceive the soul. By rejecting matter, Jnana yogis aim to attain liberation. So next we are going to discuss on Bhakti yoga, which is the process of reawakening the transcendental loving relationship between God and the living entity. Bhakti yoga is free from all traces of karma, that is fruitive activities, or jnana, that is speculative knowledge. A devotee practicing Bhakti yoga continuously engages his mind, intellect and senses in the Lord's service. Upon attaining pure love of God, one is freed from hankering, lamentation, all material attachments, material detachments and he takes no pleasure in material things. So Bhakti Yoga is the most recommended path in the Bhagavad Gita, and it includes the practices such as deity worship, pilgrimages, mantra meditation, etc. So Bhakti Yoga, which aims at achieving selfless service of the Supreme Lord, emphasizes at attaining perfection through spiritual knowledge and also receiving the grace of the Supreme Lord and the spiritual master. Bhakti Yoga enables us to connect with others in an eternal dimension by centering our relationship on the Supreme Lord, who is the origin of all love. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the session. Hare Krishna.